Hello, thank you for joining us on ERi-TV. This is English News Broadcast, and I am Salim Barhana. First, the top stars. 34 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Meeting on implementation of charted out programs. Somalia's government spokesman wounded today in an explosion. Tsunami hits Tonga after volcanic eruption. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 34 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Out of this, 1 patient is from quarantine center and 33 patients are from testing stations in Asmara Central Region. On the other hand, 71 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. Sadly, a 76-year-old patient from a Central Region has passed away due to the pandemic. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 8,326, while the number of deaths has risen to 87. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 8,910. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 16th January 2022. The Halhala National Agricultural Research Institute conducted a meeting focusing on reviewing the activities implemented in 2021 and on charted out programs for 2022. According to the report represented at the meeting, the institute has been undertaking research on various crops like sorghum, beans, wheat, maize, and barley, which were subsequently distributed to farmers and yielded encouraging output. Regarding green animal feeds, the institute has reproduced lupine type of animal feed from Australia and has distributed to dairy farmers. The institute is also conducting research on various types of soil as well as on variety of natural fertilizers collected from all the region of the country. The report further indicated that the institute has also initiated research on bee farming and honey production, indicating that the institute is registering commendable results in the production of selected potatoes, banana, and dates, and has organized training programs to farmers focusing on date farming. An institute called on farmers to take advantage of the opportunity presented. The report also indicated that encouraging research is being conducted at the research center in Agordat, Golij, Aklelat, Shambiko, and other centers. Mr. Nasser Omar from Hasa Gas Subzone reported that with strong participation of the residents, commendable community-based water and soil conservation activities have been conducted in Hasa Gas Subzone. According to Mr. Nasser, in 2021, over 63 kilometers of terraces and 1,240 meter cube of water diversion schemes have been constructed in the 15 administrative areas of the subzone. Mr. Nasser also said that over 10,000 chickens have been distributed to farmers and vaccination has been provided to about 100,000 livestock. Mr. Nasser went on to say that over 3.4 million nafa has been distributed to 1,657 families through the Saving and Microcredit Program. Mr. Takhla Haymanot Musael, Managing Director in the subzone, also said that the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare has dispersed over 3.3 million nafa in support of disadvantaged and families of martyrs in the subzone, and school materials has been extended to 150 disadvantaged students. In related news, Mr. Girmay Gabretinsae, head of the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare branch in Agordat subzone, reported that in the past 11 years, 22.8 million nafa has been dispersed in support of families of martyrs in the subzone. And now we'll be back with the international news after a short break. Stay tuned. Somalia's government spokesman was wounded today in the explosion at a road junction set off by a suicide bomber in the capital, Mogadishu. This is according to the police and national news agency. A witness at the scene told Reuters that he saw government spokesman Mohammed Ibrahim Muallimun lying on the ground after the blast. At the scene of the blast, the remains of the suicide bomber were scattered on the ground close to the Muallimu's four-wheel drive vehicle with its back windows blown off. The Al-Qaeda-linked Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab, in comments on its local radio station, claimed responsibility for the attack on Muallimun, who was reported to be in stable condition in hospital. Prime Minister of Mohammed Hussein Robel, in whose office Muallimun works, called the bombing an odious terrorist attack in the statement on Twitter. Al-Shabaab frequently carries out gun and bomb attacks on Somali security and government targets, but also on civilians. It aims to topple the UN-backed central government and impose its own harsh interpretation of Islamic law. It also carries out attacks on African Union peacekeeping troops. A tsunami has flooded Tonga's capital after a large eruption from the undersea volcano. Other Pacific islands and the U.S. have issued advisories and have cautioned residents to seek higher ground. Tongans were urged to get a higher ground after a massive volcanic eruption triggered tsunami. The Pacific island of Tonga experienced a large volcanic eruption yesterday, followed by a tsunami that flooded part of the capital, Nuku'alofa. The surge wave reached a height of 83 centimeters in Nuku'alofa. This is according to the U.S.-based Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. There is no information yet on property damage or casualties. The eruption Saturday was the latest in the series from the undersea Hunga Hap'ai volcano. Saturday's eruption is the second in only 2 days. A previous eruption on Friday sent plumes of ash and smoke into the air, with smoke clouds extending up to 20 kilometers into the atmosphere. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said tsunami waves measuring 61 centimeters in height were observed by sea level gauges in Pago Pago, the capital of the U.S. territory of American Samoa, around 940 kilometers from Tonga. Officials there initially issued a tsunami warning and told residents to immediately evacuate to higher ground. The warning was lifted shortly thereafter. A tsunami advisor was in effect for Hawaii, Alaska, the U.S. Pacific coast, and a neighboring British Columbia in Canada. New Zealand, more than 2,000 kilometers away from the site of the eruption, has also issued a tsunami advisory. And now let's remind you the top stars. 34 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Meeting on implementation of charted out programs. Somalia's government spokesman wounded today in an explosion. Tsunami hits Tonga after volcanic eruption. That's all with the news. Thanks for watching.